Hello, today I am going to talk on Upanishad. Upanishad are the core text of Hinduism. Upanishads are also considered as the Vedanta because they are the end part of the Vedas. So it is Vedanta. So it is considered as the ultimate knowledge, and it has a lot of speculations, like it has a cosmological perspective, it has a spiritual perspective, it has a psychological perspective, it has a personal developmental perspective. And these Upanishads were written thousands of years ago, and it has relevance today, and it is going to have relevance for the eternity, and hence it is called as a Sanatan Dharma. Now let's understand exactly what is the meaning of the word Upanishad. The word Upanishad has three words in it. One is Upa, Ni and Sad. Upa means near, Ni means down, and Sad means to sit. So it's basically a student sitting near the teacher and getting the knowledge. And there is a Guru Shishya Parampara. So it is kind of a transmission of something, profound knowledge coming from the teacher to the students. And in the word Upanishad, there is something called Upasana. It is a worship, and it is a worship of the profound sacred substance and the import that is already there in the Upanishad. Now I am reading Upanishad for quite some time, and the basic tenet of Upanishad is trying to remove the ignorance that human beings tend to accumulate over a period of time. And in psychology, we generally talk about an attribution error, and we tend to have a lot of error in our thinking process. When we read Upanishads, a lot of our fallacy, a lot of our error in our thinking process tends to get removed, and we understand the tattva, the reality of life. So the sages of the Upanishads are like scientists who are working like today's scientists who are working in the lab. So they used to work with their own self. The self is a antakarana, it is a tool of insight where the sages has really gone inside and understood exactly what is the core that makes a human being to go for emancipation, to go for liberation, to come out from the dukkha. Okay. And it is not the vagaries, it is not the empirical world that makes everything. It is beyond, something beyond, and that is the Brahman, and that is the Atman. Now, many of the texts says that there are around 200 Upanishads. Some texts says there are more than that. But popularly it is known that we have 108, there is 108 Upanishads. Out of that, around 10 or 11 are the most popular one. I am telling 10 and 11 because the Shvetashvara Upanishad is not very, very confirmed that was commented by Shankaracharya or not. So we have 10 popular Upanishads, and they are very profound, and it requires reading and rereading to understand the very text of it. It just one cannot understand by reading it once, because they are not just sutras, they are not the mantras, but one has to really understand from deep within. It is something that has to be understood intuitively, and the method that is being used in the Upanishad is very aphoristic, and it is a dialogue and between the student and the teacher, and the student who is has an earnest desire to seek and to inquire, what is this life all about? What is the reality? What is this oneness all about? What is this Brahman? And what is this manyness? And what is this oneness? And what is the confusion? And trying to remove all the error helps the person to understand the tattva, the reality of existence. Now, I'll just give you a brief about the 10 Upanishad. The first is the Isha Upanishad. The Isha Upanishad is the Upanishad which talks about the unity, the spiritual unity and the solidarity. The first verse is Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam Yatkinchita Jagadam Jagat Tena Taktinda Bhujinta Magrita Krishwavitanam. It's a very profound sutra. It says that the Lord is there everywhere, and one can enjoy the life by renouncing, and let's not covet the wealth of others. It has a lot of relevance in the present world. It happens that sometimes we tend to get hijacked uh, by your own emotions and get into a lot of turmoil inside, a lot of stress inside. Okay, but if somebody is able to understand that the reality is basically the manifestation of the Lord, and I can enjoy by renouncing and not by coveting, not by just by positions, not by possessing, then one finds that one is much light, and one's performance is actually increases to a lot. So Upanishads is about solidarity. It's a very small compared to all other Upanishads, but of course it actually helps the person to understand the unity and the abundance. So it also states that that from the abundance you take the abundance, and the abundance remains. From the abundance has got created, and the abundance remains. Now that itself is very profound, because one knows that there is so much of abundance in the existence, and that helps us to develop this service mentality and to become generous. One need not fight to get more. Upanishad. Second is the Kena Upanishad. Kena Upanishad talks about the spirit of inquiry. Who is the eternal knower? Who is behind the faculties, various faculties of human beings that makes those faculties to work? Who is behind the eye that makes the eye to see? Who is behind the ear that makes the ear to hear? So it is not the organs, it is not the faculties that is actually functioning. There is something beyond. So that helps us to orient to the higher dimensions of life, of existence, of operations. So it is actually a shift from something from here to something there, and there is something which is a higher dimension that we are trying to operate, and our brain is able to understand the dimensions on which we are not just empirical but something which is transcendental. Upanishad, Kena Upanishad. Then we have Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad is a dialogue between Nachiketa and the Yama, and that is very, again, quite fascinating, because Nachiketa is an honest student and he is not pleased with the answers, okay, and he's always questioning Yama. What next? He gets 3 boon, and the last boon is all about what happens when a person dies, and what is eternality, what is the spirit. Okay, and once you delve in the Katha Upanishad, a lot of things one actually comes into understanding that yes, there is a spirit behind the body, and we are beyond our body, we are beyond our personality, and that helps us to understand that yes, there is something which is eternal, and that makes us to sail through a lot of stresses of life. Okay, next is Prashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad has 6 questions, and it is being asked to the sage Pipalada, and those questions are again very substantial, that and it actually understand what is actually the underlying cause of everything, and that makes us to really understand the nature of reality. Then is the Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad talks about 2 types of knowledge. One is the Para Vidya and the Apara Vidya. One is the lower form of knowledge, and is the higher form of knowledge. And generally, the human existence tends to get involved for our day-to-day functioning, the lower form of knowledge. The higher form of knowledge is the inquiry of the spirit, the inquiry of the reality, the inquiry of the existence, the inquiry of the essence, the inquiry of the tattva. And once we are knowing that, what exactly is that makes to function this empirical existence, and then the life becomes much more easier. The vagaries of life doesn't touch us. The operations of life doesn't touch us. It is something like this, that the boat can be in the water, but the water cannot be inside the boat. The sannyasa is in the world, but the world cannot be in the sannyasa. So you are all actually in the world, and we are very objective. That makes us to perform things much more in a better way. Okay. Next is the Mandukya Upanishad. The Mandukya Upanishad talks about our states of being. The states of being is our waking state, our dream state, our deep sleep state, and then we have the Turiya. And these are all levels of consciousness, and we try to understand that our consciousness is not only this 3, but there's a Turiya, and this consciousness is something which is a rhythm. and it is a subject matter of psychology, it is a subject matter of philosophy, it is a subject matter of physics, it is a subject matter of existence, that what exactly is consciousness, and it is a matter of research. And once we are able to delve in this matter, we have different dimensions in our life. Next is Taittiriya. Taittiriya is like peeling the infinite onion and trying to understand to the core, to the essence of existence. Okay, the first layer is the Annamaya Kosha, then there's the Manomaya Kosha, the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Okay, like that it goes, and then it goes to the Anandamaya Kosha. Okay, we are trying to understand. So this koshas, of course we have the Pranamaya Kosha that actually gives us life, and it is ultimately the Sat, the Chit, and the Ananda that people are striving for, and it is like feeling. So we understand from the Mandukya Upanishad and from the Taittiriya Upanishad, we understand a method. So in Mandukya Upanishad it is talking about two forms of knowledge, lower form of knowledge and higher form of knowledge, and the Taittiriya Upanishad is talking about peeling the layers and trying to penetrate deep into our existence. Next is the Aitara Upanishad. The Aitara Upanishad is having one of the Mahavakyas, that Prajnanam Brahman, that Brahman is consciousness. Now that is again a philosophical question, that what exactly is Brahman? And there's a negation of that. What exactly is that? Okay, so it is an inquiry, it's a spirit of inquiry. So basically, the human beings, when they are studying Upanishad, they are trying to have a spirit of inquiry, a spirit of understanding, a spirit of revelation, a spirit of knowing something beyond our empirical existence. And we are trying to transcend, that is something that is happening to us, and we are trying to go beyond. And it was Arthur Scoffier who said that among all the studies and among all the texts that is available, Upanishad is the most elevating one, because it has given me solace to my life, and it will be solace to my death. Okay, so that is something which actually gives the profundity of this Upanishad. When I actually read Upanishad, I find and I am able to resonate with Arthur Scoffier, and I am able to get that kind of a solace whenever I read Upanishads. And then we have Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad again is our dialogue between the students and the teachers. We have Satya Kama, we have Shavaketu, we have Narada, and other side we have Aruni, we have Sanat Kumar and the Prajapati. And we understand between their dialogues and the questioning, they understand the spirit of inquiry, the reality, and what exactly is something that is making everything. It was there given in the Vedic text that 75% is something which is unknown and 25% is known. And today physics, the quantum physics is telling that almost 96% of the universe is something which is unknown, and only 4% we know something. We are talking about dark matter and dark energy. We are talking, okay, today's science is talking about. So our sages and the rishis in the ages of the Upanishads writings, they knew, and they never had sophisticated instrument, but they knew from their internal instrument, from the deep dialogue inside, and that is getting confirmed by the modern scientific instruments. And then lastly we have Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is the largest Upanishad, and where we have the sage, the Yajnavalkya, and Yajnavalkya is having a dialogue with Maitri and Gargi, where Maitri is very earnest student, and she has shown that more than possessions, more than wealth, there is something. Can I know something which if I know, I need not know anything, and what actually gives me a lot of peace. And then Yajnavalkya slowly unfolds and reveals the truth and the kernel of the reality, of reality, the way things are. The Upanishad as a text, as a sutra, as a mantra, has a lot of profound, distinct and a distilled knowledge, and it cannot be mastered in days or in years. It will take a lot of time to read and intuitively understand and get the core of it. And if one is dedicated to study slowly and gradually, the truth and the kernel will reveal in itself, and one will find that one person is becoming much more productive in its way and able to handle a lot of stresses that comes in our life. It has a lot of relevance in today's world.